Hello, Abigail here. We are going to be doing another pick a pile reading. This pick a pile reading is what door is opening for you next. We're gonna flip the top card to see what resonates. We're gonna go through the crystals. This reading is to kind of give you a heads up as to what is opening up for you, what topics to focus on, any information you need about your next steps, but just what is coming towards you. What are you heading into next? This is a timeless reading for me. I would feel like next is feeling about 6 months. So, 6 months from the point that you see this reading, these are the things and the topics and the situations that are opening up for you. Let's get started with this. So, we have the Way Home Tarot, which I absolutely love, one of my favorites. This beautiful carnelian palm stone. Love her. And the top card here is the Daughter of Pentacles, which, like I said, love this deck. I love all of my decks, but this one has a very special place in my heart. Also, we have this smoky quartz that kind of is a bit more of like a lavender, which, once again, adore. And we have the Elder of Swords or the King of Swords. Interesting, two court cards. And then we have this serpentine stone. I love this one too. I probably should have talked about what each one is. This is about abundance and wealth and passion and moving towards your goals and harnessing your desire. This is about cleaning and purging and cleansing and introspection, which I think is interesting considering the elder's position. And serpentine is about transformation and rebirth and coming through a difficult time. And the card we have for this is the Six of Pentacles, which is actually the card that I'm associated with my sun's sign. So I have a special place in my heart for this one. But pick whichever one feels aligned for you. Connect to it, sit with it, soak in it. If you get into a reading and you just are like, this isn't for me, try another one. Oftentimes, something I'll do if I can't make it up is I'll go do the numerology of the timestamps. Numerology of timestamps is you basically just add together all the numbers until there's only single digit numbers. And so, like, if I've seen an angel number recently, I'll add it together. And if one of them is a seven, I'll be like, or a derivative or something divisible by seven, I'll pick that. But it's one of the ways that I choose pick a pile readings for myself because I do these, but I also love watching other readers do them. It's something I really, 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 really enjoy. Also, something I'm going to be doing at the end of each one of these readings is I'm going to take my very delicious and lovely labradorite pendulum, and I'm going to be doing a yes or no question. So think about, oops, how did we get all tangled like this? Think about a yes or no question that you would like to have, and we will go through it and we will decipher it. Me now being like, how the, how the hell did I do this? Not me needing to check my tools before a reading. Well, we'll figure it out at some point. I might have to pause the camera for me to suss out what the crud I've done. It's like one of those Chinese puzzles where it's like I'm pretty sure this little orb ball thing doesn't fit in here, so I gotta figure out how the crud this happened. Anyways, welcome to my ADHD. I'm gonna fix that probably off camera, but buckle up, pick your reading, and I will see you all in a second. Hello, pile number one. You picked this gorgeous carnelian palm stone. We will set this off to the side where we can still see it, or maybe let's do it at the top. Make a little line here. Your card is this lovely Daughter of Pentacles. We will read the tarot in a second, but I do want to pull us some oracle. This is about what door is opening for you. I want to look into some advice maybe for the moment of like what you can do or something that you can focus on. This is I think it's the Inner Child Oracle. I'm trying to get better at saying the names because I do love my decks and I do love it when other people want to know what they are. Do what you need to do. It may be difficult, but now is the time. Ooh, so the door that's opening next is one that you need to get on. And I don't think it's like, oh, you have to do everything all the time, but I do think it's very much you need to do what's best for you and you need to stop centering other people. Also, even if something is hard, doesn't mean that it's impossible. And most actions aren't some big step or event. Most actions are little micro steps that end up making a much bigger, broader journey. So I think something to start with is just make things into smaller bite-sized pieces for yourself. Like if you have a goal or a dream or something that you are facing, you know, break down what you can do in the moment that is small and digestible and something that you can do now, especially with the Daughter of Pentacles. This is about little steps. But with the pages, which is the daughters in this deck, pages just go for it. They do the thing without tons of thought. Um, they are a little more reckless. They're a little more hyper focused. They don't take things as hard. And so I think we're being called to embody this pentacle energy of like investing, but investing in little ways. You don't have to do everything all at once for it to matter. I also love this is a 1-1. 11. It's also kind of, it reminds me in the tarot, which we'll see how many twos we get. It also reminds me of like the Two of Wands or the Two of Swords. You have choices to make, you have action to activate. So look at what you can do. Don't look at the whole big picture. Like if everyone looked at the big picture, there's a few people who can do this, but there's not, it's a specific type of person. Don't look at the big picture and go, how am I going to get there? Look at what you can do in this moment that makes getting there one step closer or one iota easier. We also have you are worthy. You are worth it all, my love. I think in this pile, some of you might struggle with believing that you deserve something or believing that you're going to get it. And I think a practice that you can incorporate in the next 6 months is to, and it might seem silly, but it is very effective as someone who is a bit skeptical and early on in their spiritual journey, to just be like, I deserve it. I am worthy, using I am or I have, like present words to describe something that you're manifesting to bring it into reality. Because technically, energetically, the door that's opening for you, the thing that you're hoping is on the other side, all of that already exists for you. All of it's already there. And we just have to get on that timeline. And it might seem a bit wild, but the more that you say I already have it, it's already here, the easier those steps that you take to do it will be, because you're like, oh, this is just the natural progression of the thing that I already have. It won't be so difficult and so kind of out of left field for you. I'm gonna pull one more because I really do like these. They're very encouraging. Nope, not that too many. I also have sticky fingers, and sometimes I can tend to hold on to like the last card that is in the pile that I'm pulling. Try to make sure I keep it loose and mixed up. What's the final message from this deck? Oh, you want to keep it to yourself. You do not have to go it alone. Reach out for support at this time. Yeah, so things might be hard and difficult, and it is about you and your journey, but you don't have to do this alone. You don't have to be isolated on this journey. There are people who love and support you, and it doesn't have to be necessarily physical support, although that usually is the most helpful. It can be people listening to your dreams or giving you advice. One thing about the advice is like, only ever take advice from people that you like really, really like respect, and also like the life that they're living is a life you would like to have. Don't just take advice from people who like to give advice, because those people aren't always the folks that actually have the good advice. um but yeah, reach out for help, connect. I also think with you don't have to go it alone. For a lot of you, this is going to be reaching out to your spiritual team, your ancestors, your guides, any other spirit groups that you work with, and asking them for help. Also, something that's been coming up a lot in my practice and stuff is that ancestors and spirit guides aren't always gentle with us, and they don't always either remember in the ancestral situation, they don't always remember what it was like to be in a human body, or if it is a spirit group, they have never been in a human body. And so sometimes you do have to have the conversation of like, hey guys, I understand where you're trying to get me, but I live in a finite body with finite resources, so you're going to have to cough up some kind of support, financial, emotional, or something, because I can't just keep going alone. I think a lot of times in spiritual practices, we take on a lot of the kind of religious roots, especially if we come from a society that values religion, where there's this idea in a lot of religions about like not being able to ask, or not deserving, or not being able to like talk back to energy. And here's the thing, like, you're also an energetic body, and it's not about being rude or demanding, but it's about being like, hey guys, I would love to do the thing that you'd like me to do, but I need resources. I would love to do the thing that you like me to do, but you don't always have to make things hard so that I'll do it. I've learned my spiritual lessons. I literally had this conversation before I turned on the camera. I was mulling over my own personal issues. And I was like, I'm more than happy to do the things that you want, but you can't starve me of everything else. So I only focus on what you want because that's not feasible in a human body. And I have a disabled body. So it's like, it's like doubly a problem. And so don't feel like you can't have these difficult conversations with your ancestors. Don't feel like you can't have these difficult conversations with your spirit guides or any other spirits or angels or beings that you work with. The angels do tend to be much more empathetic because angels will often come to earth for a few lifetimes to experience the human condition because their goal is to understand humanity better. So angels I normally don't have to have this conversation with as much. Depends on the angel, to be honest. But don't be afraid to have these conversations with your spiritual team if you're a very spiritual person. And if you haven't developed a spiritual connection, this might be the time, especially if you're being like, Abigail, I don't know who I would reach out to. Well, reach out to the unseen, reach out to the spirits and the ancestors. This might be one of the reasons this door might be feeling delayed, is because they're like, until you talk to us, we're not going to be handing out any information. Also, we have balance. Take time to relax, indulge a little more or less, set boundaries with your work. So, yeah, with the Daughter of Pentacles, you can only do so much when you can do it, which might seem silly and might seem like a weird way to say it, but do what you can when you can as you can. If you notice you've gone a little overboard on something, taper it back. If you notice you're being under cared for in a certain aspect, ramp it up. You know, there's no perfect place in life. It's a constant shimmy between one extreme to another. And I think in this time, as you wait for the opening of this door, as you work on clearing the way for this door, because it does feel like this group might have some blocks in the way that might take a little minute to crack open, or you just might feel really stuck. You know, do the things that you can do to rebalance yourself. Tidy your space, which I'm speaking to myself. Tidy your space, dust things, move the energy around, water your plants, um, brush something up, fix something up, do something that you've been putting off that really only takes 10 minutes, but it feels much bigger. This is coming from someone with ADHD. But it's these little things. It's these little things that really move things forward much more than you would think. Also, love these cards that fell out. We have prosperity. A gift of money is on its way. Your income is increasing. Manage your finances with love. And we have miracles, which is the back of the cards. It is have faith that your miracle is on its way. Your prayers have been answered. Surrender the how. So while I think there are blocks in this pile, I think the blocks are more of a timing thing rather than like an actual block, and you just feel blocked. So know that good things are coming in, know that things are changing, know that the stuff that you're investing in is actually moving, but also know that you do need to be moving forward inch by inch, moment by moment. You can't just wait on the energy. With the Daughter of Pentacles, you do have to do the little things, but I think the little things, as you inch your way towards this door, these little things are going to be the key to opening it. And the reason I have the key here is because we're doing a door reading. I love keys as spiritual objects. They're so potent and powerful, but the key is coming to your door. And I think the key for you specifically is this kind of moment by moment, day by day, learning to trust your intuition, doing little things for your future rather than feeling like everything has to be so big. Um, um, and I think the door that's opening specifically for pile one is very much whatever you want it to be. With the Pentacles, I do think it is kind of a physical financial thing for this group. It is money with the prosperity card. It's also just about you, I think, attaining a level of success in life, because you do feel like you feel a bit like you've been wandering, especially with this card that feels kind of like someone adrift almost. You know, I do feel like you've been wondering where you're headed, and I think you're going to be getting an idea of that over the next 6 months. We have going forward. Absolutely. Yes, yes. Um, Going forward, love this. I love the path, the sun coming up. You are going to start moving. The stuckness that you feel is going to start happening. I think some of you in this group are definitely kind of wondering where you're headed when it comes to career or a job or how to make money. That information is coming soon. Also, some of you might be in a job that you're not a huge fan of. That's also shifting and changing. Um, for some of you, I think it will be going to a new job. For some of you, it's just getting a different perspective about the old job or setting some boundaries. But things are changing whether you stay in the same place or not. But it does start with you being open to the change. Also, with the miracles, it's like surrendering to the how. If you have a really fixed idea of what you want, hold on to the end goal, but release the process, because it might actually not be as hard as you think. And I think sometimes the how for a lot of us is like as fast as possible, which I absolutely get, but you need to surrender how long it's going to feel. I don't think it's going to take forever, but I do think it's going to feel a lot until it's not, which is frustrating. Diligence, yeah, diligence is giving the Daughter of Pentacles for sure. So continuing to do the stuff you're invested in, I don't know that you have to change your life completely. I think it's like this one where it's like indulge a little more, indulge a little less. It's not about doing these huge physical actions. It's about adjusting things ever so slightly and doing things that make you happier and make you more excited about life. Because also, in order to get this miracles prosperity energy, you have to believe it's possible and live in, not all the time, but some portion of your life needs to be lived in happy anticipation. And then we have focus. Yes. What do you want? Truly. And if some of you are like, Abigail, I came to this pile to know what I want. I think part of this reading is asking you to really, truly ask yourself, because I find a lot of times when people don't know what they want, it's not because they don't know what they want, it's because they don't think what they want is feasible, or they're afraid it's not going to happen, or they are worried that they don't deserve it. But we have, you are worthy. You are worthy of your dreams and desires. You are worthy and deserving to have those dreams and desires fulfilled for yourself. So a part of this is also you just believing that you deserve it. You just believing that you are enough and that what you desire is going to happen, because you are a person who, like all other people, deserve to have your dreams met and deserve to experience a beautiful, fulfilling, wonderful life. Um, but it does feel as though you might, even if you're like, no, I know I want these things, I know I deserve them, there's like a little part of you, and there's always going to be some part of us that will struggle in a society that isn't really built for a lot of us to thrive. But I do think there's a little bit of a larger chunk that can be worked through, that is holding you back in the sense of being like, what if it doesn't happen? What if I don't actually deserve it? What if I get disappointed? And here's the deal, what if you do get disappointed? But what if you never try at all? What if, we often ask what happens if, if everything goes wrong. But maybe ask yourself, what happens if you never try? What happens if you don't change things? What happens if you don't take your courage in both hands and move forward? Also something you're not going to enjoy. We're going to ask for some guidance from tarot. I'm going to ask first, is there anything pile number 1 needs to do in order to open this door? 3 of Pentacles. Checking my camera angle. Let's move this up a smidge so I can get the whole card in here. All right. Some of this is going to have to get hidden because there's not enough space. I will leave some of the words visible. Um, so 3 of Pentacles, 8 of Pentacles. Interesting. All these pentacles. This is a very kind of work heavy, money heavy. And the Hermit. Honestly, it's just doing what you have been doing with a little more refinement and a little more adjustment. Very much this balance card. Also with 3 of Pentacles, it's about connecting and collaborating with people with similar interests or ideas. It also can be about getting advice from someone who is in a similar career, to get information from them about how they did it. With the Hermit, it's also about accepting that it's going to feel like the stuff you're doing isn't moving stuff. It's going to feel slow. It's going to feel quiet. It's going to feel silent. If you've ever been in a place where snow is falling and it's gotten fairly thick and there's just this dampening to the sounds, your life might not feel as vibrant because of the energies around you. But trust that this is part of the process of you getting to the point that you need to be in order to open the door. So, on the bright side, you really don't have to do too much, but put in effort towards your goals in little ways, and also to continue a lot of the stuff that you have been doing, because you're actually very much on the right path. A lot of it has to do with this internal dialogue about what you do or don't deserve. Alrighty. Let's see. So we've asked what's on the road to do. All right. What is on the other side of the door? Oh, interesting. Disappointment. Curious and asking what's on the other side of the door. We will see what the accompanying cards. Okay, this makes more sense. Oop, and then we just lost it all. Me completely trashing my entire. Oh, this is really interesting. So, what is on the other side of this door? You are moving away from disappointment. You are moving away from loss. You are moving away from struggle. You're also moving towards enlightenment and understanding. Also, I think some of you are like, I'm never going to get the traditional things that you may want. Like, I don't think everything that you want is traditional, but I think there's some things that are traditional. Maybe you want to own a home, or maybe you want a typical stable 9 to 5, or maybe you just want to have, which is a totally base level desire, which I think everyone in society should have anyways, but maybe you just want enough to live on, which I would encourage you to ask for more, because if we're going to manifest, we might as well manifest more than the bare minimum that capitalism barely gives us. But you are moving away from struggle. And I like the Seven of Wands because it's like you're moving out of a time of difficulty and you're moving towards a time of like deep security in who you are and in your own knowledge. I also think in this in the process of this energy, you are also kind of leveling up in a sense, where like maybe through the process of getting to the door, you are asking for advice, but on the other side of the door, you become the person that people come to advice for. So there's like a role reversal in here. I'm trying to figure out how to put this up. So you're moving out of a time of difficulty and moving into a time of movement and confidence when it comes to self. All right, what is the ultimate end or goal of this journey through the door, of this passageway, of this movement, of the things that you're hoping for? And for some of you, I don't know that you necessarily have honed in on exactly what you want on the other side of the door. You just want movement. We have the High Priestess, so a deeper connection with self and with spirit is going to be kind of the result. Ooh, an ability to see through the bullshit. Ooh, nice. So you're kind of, it's not that you're not going to still be who you are, but there's definitely like a maturing happening with the Hierophant and the Seven of Swords and the High Priestess. It's like you're coming into deeper knowledge. You're able to sniff out the bullshit faster. This group also with the Daughter of Pentacles early on in life, or just it might just be innate to who you are. It feels like you're really wonderful and you give people the benefit of the doubt. What this is kind of saying is like some people don't deserve the benefit of the doubt, and you're going to start to get really good at kind of clocking this early on in relationship dynamics. And so, there's a lovely maturing and intuitive honing. I also think your connection to spirit is getting stronger. We have the Fool and we have the Four of Cups. Yeah, this door is opening the way to a new path forward. And also with the Four of Cups, I think you're finally understanding the path you've been on. Like, I think a lot up to this point, you've been like, I don't know why all this stuff has happened to me. And you're going to be given a deeper understanding of that through this process. Also, with the Four of Cups and the High Priestess and the Seven of Swords, it's this kind of reaffirmation that you're starting to put together missing pieces. You're starting to understand how you function and where you want to go. And with the Fool, I think for those of you who might be a little confused as to where you want to go, you in the very least have gotten a goal that is clear enough for it to be worth it for you to take a leap of faith. And I think through this door, there is a leap of faith, but I think it's a leap that you are very excited to take and one that you can at least see to a certain degree how it will progress you and bring you happiness. All right, final question. What joy, abundance, or gift does this doorway give me? Father of Cups. It's taking a minute. Ace of Cups. After all these pentacles, we're finally getting cups. We need to get the Four of Cups over there. Six of Pentacles, which is actually the card of pile number 3, and the Son of Wands. You get to have a whole new lease on life. You find better and closer connections. You learn and are able to develop emotional regulation and understanding. Also, you're able to marry your passions with how you feel. It feels like maybe for some of you, part of the reason you're kind of looking for advice or guidance is because you're like, I want these things, but like the process by which I'm being forced to get them isn't really aligned with me. And I think you're finding a way to pursue your passions without having to like destroy yourself to do it. I also think that's such a toxic kind of mindset we have in capitalism, which is like everything has to be hard in order to be attained. Like everything has challenges, but not everything has to be like soul crushing. And so the gifts and the abundance and the benefits you're getting is new relationships, new connections, but new connections and relationships where you are seen and held and loved. And with the Father of Cups and Son of Wands, you're also adored for all of you. You don't have to hide parts of yourself to make other people happy. Also, I think if we take like all the cards and put them together, especially with this miracles card and the you're worth it card and the going forward, this door is opening a whole new world of possibility for you that I don't even think you realized you wanted. Like, I think this pile, especially, is kind of in the phase of kind of understanding better who they are and what they actually want. And this situation is going to tear the roof off of it. So, know that your dreams and desires and things are coming in. And if you're not sure about them, which I think some of you are not, the process of stepping through this door and going through it will give you those answers. You just have to do these incremental things, also set boundaries, also have standards, and this beautiful collection of newness and rebirth and reciprocation is going to come in, and you're going to be able to step into the fullness of who you are. All right, so that is the tarot reading, but we are going to do a little yes or no pendulum reading. So, how I do this is yes is going to be this way, and no is going to be this way. I always start the reading out with just testing my pendulum a little bit. So we're going to ask a question that we already know, which is this a tarot reading? Just to get the pendulum started. I don't know if you can see it from that angle, but it is swinging very firmly yes. Then we will ask it another question. Is my name Fred? The answer is obviously a no. And so we've confirmed that the pendulum is attuned and aligned. Now we will ask, is the question being asked in this moment by the person who is watching this video a yes or a no? So it's doing a circle, which is a maybe for me. The answer is no. We have a very strong no here. All right, my loves, that is the answer to your question. Your door is coming to you. It is offering enlightenment, insight. It will bring you abundance and money. You just need to do what you need to do step by step. If you enjoyed this reading, please like and subscribe. As always, I am so thankful that you've taken your time to be with me here and to listen to these messages from Spirit. If you have any questions or comments, pop them below. I love it when you guys interact. It always brings me joy. I'm a very interactive person. Anyways, many blessings, pile number 1. I will see you all later. Bye bye. Hello, pile number 2. You selected this smoky quartz that's a little lavenderish. I can't really tell how it shows up on camera. Hopefully you can see the kind of purpley gray. I really love this tumble so much. Cannot express it enough. Pop it up at the top with the other one from the other reading. I don't know if you can still see them. I had to move everything because the cards got a little out of hand last reading. which will be more so the case because these cards are even bigger. But you picked the Elder of Swords for the door that you are going through. That is opening up for you next. We're going to kind of talk about the themes, any guidance from spirit, and then we will ask some specific questions of the tarot and end with a yes or no pendulum um, little moment. So you can ask your question and the pendulum will tell you yes or no. But getting started, we're going to pull some cards. We're going to start with the Inner Child Oracle. It always gives us lovely messages of encouragement and guidance and support. So we're going to use this to kind of give us a little insight into this door and into anything Spirit wants to say. It's time to celebrate. Cultivate an air of celebration today. So I think whether you have something to celebrate or not, it's less about what there is to celebrate and more about cultivating, as this card says, an air of celebration. Like if you don't believe you're ever going to have anything to celebrate, you probably won't. And so living in celebration of something, like if something good does happen, even if it's small, being like, you know what, that was fabulous. I love that for me. And if you're me, then you're like, this is an occasion to get a little treat for myself. If you can't tell, I'm a Taurus. So some time to celebrate, to cultivate an air of celebration. Also with the Elder of Swords, it feels like there's some kind of breakthrough happening here. It feels as though whatever this door is like an upgrade, a level up. It also is due to your acumen and your determination and your ability to hold firm to a desire or an idea. We have set boundaries. Claim your power and know your value today. That's giving very King of Swords. Very King of Swords energies. Also, interestingly enough, there is an eclipse in the sky in this card. And while this is a timeless reading, I am reading this between eclipses. And that's a solar eclipse. And so we just had the solar eclipse in Leo. If you're seeing this when I post it, you'll be like, I'm in it. But I would encourage you to go back and look at the date that happened, which is the 12th of August, 2026. So whenever you're seeing this, go back and see what was going on. But set the boundaries, claim your power, know your value. I personally think that this is an affirmation. If you don't feel like you've done it, then it's definitely guidance. You really need to do this. You need to set these boundaries. You need to be firm as to what you want and what you desire, because this next door needs you to be bold, needs you to be strong, and needs you to be brave. And having those boundaries in place will allow you to do what you need to do, and not get sidetracked or kind of pushed off your path by people with less confidence, or just, I don't want to say weak, but they aren't very gutsy. And they don't want you to be gutsy because then it makes them feel bad. So possibility, raise your standards, elevate your expectations. You have unlimited potential. Yeah. You are a powerhouse. It's giving. This is a powerhouse. I think part of the reason you might be seeking guidance is because you're like, I am a powerhouse and I'm not sure why things aren't working. But it's a lot of this reading is coming through as the stepping through the door for you, and what is on the other side requires you to be bold and brave and strong and competent and to believe in yourself. A lot of it also is just being like, yeah, I deserve everything and I deserve the most, and I don't deserve to live a life where I don't get to celebrate, to live a life that's always hard. We have adventure, dare to do things differently, manifest your travel dreams, move to a new location. So with adventure and possibility, I do think the new door for some of you, especially with like a celebrate and value, and boundaries, I think a good portion of you might need to move or might be in the process of moving. If you've already moved, this is an affirmation that you are on the right path. But there's definitely an element here of a part of your journey is progress and movement that very much sits well with that elder discernment. All is not what it seems. Stay true to your knowledge and keep your dreams a secret. Yes, this is very King of Swords. Discernment. This next door is bringing discernment. It is requiring discernment of you. Also with the setting boundaries, and also keeping your dreams a secret. Not everyone needs to know your business. Not everyone needs to know what you're doing. Also, and this is coming from someone who will literally talk about anything with anyone. So I too don't always need to tell everyone my business. But with this discernment, it is like as you move to a new place, as you shift stuff, as you're setting boundaries, discerning who is for you and who is not, not putting your energy towards stuff that's going to happen or not. Be like, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. Energy comes towards me. I attract it. I do not chase. Um, you don't need to go out and desperately find something. While this reading is also not giving romantic necessarily, I do feel that for a portion of you, this is about not chasing romantic partners. If someone wants you, they will come after you. Not in a bad way. Sorry, that sounds kind of aggressive. They will chase you, they will pursue you, they will make it clear that they are interested in you, and then you can reciprocate. I will say with discernment, not everyone who shows signs of affection is affectionate. So it's about you also knowing the difference between love bombing and actual connection. And it doesn't have to be romantic, it can also be in friendships. Like, I think all of us may have experienced a time when you have one of those really fast and intense friendships that just randomly fall apart later. Those are also a form of love bombing. So, this next chapter, regardless of what relationships you're looking at, is about you really listening to what people are saying and watching and seeing if their actions align. It's about you really paying attention to your instincts. I do think you've been cultivating already with the Elder of Swords, but this is just kind of an indication that we can up that a smidge, if you will. Also, we have 8 with 5, 3, and 7 here. There's like a progression of 7, 8. So this door is not a leap. This is something that you are kind of moving through. It's a natural progression. But it is moving you closer to your goals. It is moving you towards discernment while also because you are being discerning, if that makes sense. Like, it is a both and. We have flow. So yeah, it kind of goes along with the possibility card here. Um, Going with the flow. It does feel like you're being asked to discern, but I think when it comes to like bigger, that's for like smaller relational things. But when it comes to like physical life events, allowing stuff to happen, and to also funny, we're getting adventures here and there's adventure there. I'm actually just going to pull this card because that's giving giving on topic for what we're talking about. Adventure, flow, moving into new stuff, allowing things to happen, trusting that the big thing's coming towards you, delight, enjoying the process. I do think because you do have this Elder of Swords, maybe some of you might be a little too serious. And I don't think it's about being serious. I think it's about being wise. And this delight and this celebrate card are a reminder not to take everything so seriously, not to be so focused on results and grounding and being right that you miss out on the fun of the journey, that you miss out on the fun of stepping through this door, of finding new things, of moving through energies. And like I said, in the other reading, there's a reason I have a key here. It's because we are unlocking something new. And I think for you, it's not it was kind of more so unlocking something completely new for pile number 1, but for you, you're kind of like opening the next door. You've already been through several doors. This pile feels like they've been through a lot. It's not necessarily based on age, it's more of like experience. If you're someone who's young but you've like had to do a lot of stuff on your own, this pile, at least reading, is still for you. But this is very much a building on past experiences and stuff. And I think because life has been a bit rigid and difficult in some ways, you are being asked to loosen up, to open yourself up to energies, but spiritual energies. We still need boundaries with people. We still need boundaries with work and with systems, but we need to loosen those boundaries when it comes to our fun and our joy and our spontaneity. All right, let's pull the tarot for some advice. What advice are we being given? Let's see. What advice are we being given? I'm not keeping track of the time, so these may not be equal tarot readings. I've yet to get the complaint, but I know other tarot readers, people get a little cranky if there's wildly varying times, but most of us are just intuitively reading. Keeping an eye on the clock is not something that's necessary. I do a little bit. I like to kind of roughly do it, but we are going to ask, is there anything pile number 1 needs to do to unlock this door? Oh, pile number 2, sorry. Called you pile number 1. Anything pile number 2 needs to do to unlock this door? This is funny because not in this question specifically, but pile number 1 got this. Oh, 4s. 4 of Cups, 4 of Wands, 5 of Cups. I don't know if I want to take all these. How many are there? Okay, we'll take all of these just because it feels like there's a reason we're getting these cards. So what's interesting about the Five of Cups and the Four of Cups is that in both of these ones, there is an element of seeing and not seeing in the traditional tarot. So in the traditional Rider Waite tarot, there's someone looking at three cups and missing a fourth cup. And then in the Five of Cups, it's someone looking at three spilled cups with two full cups behind them. And so there's an element of you're kind of missing the point of something. I think it might be a bit of a grief process. There's something you need to grieve and release and let go of. I do find it interesting that in this one we have the three spilled cups, the upright cup, and then we have this bigger cup that is like growing and crying and processing while still bringing new life at the same time. And so I do think there's an element here of you, especially with the moon and the Nine of Wands, with you not being allowed to go forward until you process something emotionally. Four of Cups, Four of Wands here. It's also about stabilizing and also believing that you deserve safety and comfortability and you deserve to have your dreams and desires met. There also might be a fear in all of this, that you are never going to get what you want. And I don't really believe that is true. But also, even if you don't get everything that you want, you will get something. And if you don't try, you're never going to know. And so this is very much, we need to sit with process past grief. I don't know that this is the longest process because we have the Nine of Wands here. So it's like, once you face this, you have a breakthrough right after. But we do have to name our fears and name our desires in this time in order to get them. You can't just kind of be ambivalent or amorphous, especially with an Elder of Wands or Elder of Swords. If you want to move through this door, you have to say, I want this door, I choose this door. And even if there are risks with this door, I deserve to step through it and to find out what is on the other side. Next question. What do I want to ask? I should write these down. I usually just go with whatever spirit says and then hope I remember in each pile. We're just going to go with whatever's next. Is there a key to opening this door? Elder of Pentacles, so another king. Four of Swords, Champion of Swords. Honestly, I think you're already doing it. Whatever you need to do, you're already doing it when it comes to the key. It is about just being very sure of it. With the Four of Swords also, it feels like you've already, and the Champion of Swords, which is a knight, you've already set this in motion. You've already done the physical stuff. Really, the only thing that's happening here is this blockage, which I really think is just a perspective shift and a little bit of processing. I don't think it's going to be long. But as far as like the key to the door, you're already doing it. You just have to wait for this processing to happen and then bing, bang, boom, you're through. So I wouldn't worry too much about having a key. I think you already have the key. You just have like an obstacle in front of you. And that obstacle is processing your fears, processing the past, and also claiming what you deserve in the future. What is on the other side of the door? What will you find on the other side of this door? The Ace of Wands, love it. Passion, inspiration. Six of Wands, celebration, yes. I also love this, a little pig. Temperance, balance, connection. We'll do one more. And the Ace of Cups, oh my gosh, new and magical things are waiting for you on the other side of this door. There's a celebration, which goes back to our earlier card about having a spirit of celebration. With the Ace of Cups, this is an emotional beginning, an emotional transformation. We have the Ace of Wands, which is a spark, an ignition, a passion that is starting and that we're following. And with Temperance, even though this energy is very bombastic and big, there is a balance and a congruence to these new energies that you are getting. So it's not going to be like big changes that destabilize you. These are changes that feel right. These are changes that balance you, that bring you connection, that make you feel like things are going to be okay, and things are going to be okay. It is just about trusting that what is coming towards you is for you while leaving what is in the past in the past. But there's such a beautiful joy and delight in this set of cards. It just makes me very like excited and tingly. And also having the temperance, it's like you're going to have this high kind of buzzing energy, but you're going to still be grounded. You're still going to be in flow. You're still going to be in communion and connection to spirit. And it's just really exciting to see and to witness in the energies. So, all of the work that you've done, all of the things that you've done, it is all lining up for this. Even though we do have this, I do want to ask a final one. I want to ask what abundance, what end, what joy, what fulfillment are we going to find at the end or at the next or until we find our next door? We have the Hanged One, the Oracle of Swords. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Love it when the cards are like none of your business. With the Hanged One and the Wheel of Fortune, it does not matter. It doesn't matter what we're going to find to the next door. We need to focus on being in the moment and enjoying these things first. With the Queen of Swords, which is the partner to this, I do think you are going to find a renewed balance and understanding, especially the Two of Pentacles, where whatever this brings you in the long term, you are going to be finding a balance in life. You're going to be finding a connection to multiple parts of yourself. Are the cards going to tell us what's going on? No. They're like, you will find out when you find out about the end of that journey. Live in this moment, be present, don't overthink, which I think is the one downside of the swords, is that even in a positive way, the swords can be a little too cerebral. But with the Wheel of Fortune and the Hanged One and the Two of Pentacles, it's like you're going to learn what you're going to learn. And you just need to be open and willing to go with the flow while making sure that you're having fun and you're enjoying it in the meantime. Also, with the Oracle of Swords, I think this entire process is going to be honing your intuition and going back to the like, don't share your business that we have with this one. You know, it's also about learning discernment about who to share our joy with because not everyone wants to participate in an honest way. But I do believe for you, pile number two, you are moving into a new and a wonderful phase that you have worked very hard to get to. If you have put in a lot of effort and work, this pile is definitely for you. Um, we are going to do the pendulum reading, but before we do the yes or no reading with the pendulum, which we're going to use this little guide. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy it. Also, for those of you who already participate and watch my videos, I am so thankful for all of that. Also, comment. Let me know your thoughts below. I always enjoy interacting. Um, I also have an Instagram where I offer discounts on readings. So, yeah, check all that out. Anyways, we have the pendulum. We already attuned the pendulum in reading one, which is where I ask like an obvious question. I asked, is this a tarot reading? And it said yes. And I said, is my name? I think it was Fred. And they said no. It's just how I check in to make sure that my energy is aligned. So I'm not going to go through that whole process. The pendulum is already vibrating and ready to go. I'm going to say, pendulum, there is a yes or no question that this collective pile number two is asking. Is this answer to this question a yes or a no? The answer is an emphatic yes. I don't know if you can see it, but I should have told you yes is this way, no is that way. I forgot because I already did all this with pile one, but it is a very emphatic yes to whatever the question was that you asked. It was an emphatic no with pile number one, but this is your reading. This is an exciting new door that you will be moving through soon. Simply process what you need to process. Continue to build on the skills that you have, and the door that is opening for you is going to be beyond magical and divine. Anyways, I will see you all later. Bye. Hello, pile number three. Welcome to your reading. You chose this lovely serpentine that we will stick at the top of the table. You chose the Six of Pentacles, this beautiful card of reciprocation in a material sense, of balance, of give and take, of receiving. It's one of my favorite cards. But what we're going to do first is we're going to look into the Oracle for guidance, advice, information on our current situation, information on what lies ahead, what door you are moving through. So let's get into it. We're going to use this Inner Child Oracle. We have let go of the past. It's time to envision a new story. So just feel like maybe a part of this process of the door that might be a little difficult for you is letting go of the past or opening the door and moving through it because you were holding on to something in the past. If you don't feel like this is the case, then I would pick a different pile. Doesn't mean that you're like stuck in it, but it's like there might be one little bastion or one little energetic cord that's left, and that's all that you need to do to let go of what has been holding you back. We have let it go. Let go of what no longer serves you. So, yeah, if you don't feel like that resonates, leave. Not the whole reading, to a different pile. Let go, release, let go. I would not be shocked if we get the death card in the tarot. Let go. Let go of what no longer serves you. Let go of the past. To get through this door, which we're still going to ask, like, is there anything blocking us? What's the key and stuff like that? But it truly is letting things go. It truly is not being afraid. I also think that while understanding past mistakes and educating ourselves and using the past as a template, I think in your case some of the stuff that happened to you just happened to you and wasn't necessarily a lesson, and so you've been holding on to some stuff that happened to you in the past as like some kind of guidance, and it's like that's not really guidance because it wasn't really your fault. So like if something didn't work out in the past and you're like, well, I guess that because that didn't work out, nothing's ever going to work out. Let me tell you here now, that's just not true. That's not the case for this pile by any means. So let it go, release it. Not the right one. Pull too many cards. Accept what is. This act of acceptance will bring peace. It's funny because it's like let it go, and then accept. I think this ties into being like not holding so much weight with the past, not being like, oh, the past, all the things I did in the past are the reason everything is wrong. And it also feels like what you might be holding on to is fear. It might feel like intuition, it might feel like knowledge, it might feel like information to you. But I'm here to tell you a lot of the stuff that happened to you just happened to you. And I'm not minimizing anything that happened. If it was horrible, it was horrible. But I don't think there was like some reason that these things occurred. Now, could you have learned lessons from them? Could you have um, you know, had some kind of experience that was beneficial? Maybe. But it's not like what happened in the past is critical knowledge for you moving forward. In fact, letting it go and being open to what's coming is really what's coming through right now. So I would really encourage this pile to do a cord cutting or an unbinding or a release ritual because it really feels like there's a it may not even be physical. It feels very energetic. There's like an energetic tie that we haven't quite let go of. I also think for some of you, this is a past life tie, which is why it's so confusing because you're like, I'm not sure what this is, but it's your soul holding on to something. So you can do kind of a general release ritual. That would be my advice if you want to do anything magical or witchcrafty for this. We have compassion. Be gentle with yourself. Forgiveness will set you free. See the light in yourself and others. Yeah, I think you are holding on to something you may have done in the past as kind of like a protective mechanism, and it's time to let it go. It's time to release it. Also, with the Six of Pentacles, the universe, is, especially with this one having like a golden divine hand with a snake wrapped around it, it's like the universe is going to be giving you something, but your hands are so tightly clenched on something that doesn't matter anymore, or that the time is up, that you are not able to extend your hand and take what the universe is offering you. And I think part of that is forgiving yourself for something in the past, releasing something, letting it go. Also, some of you, especially with the Six of Pentacles, might be holding on to something that someone did to you in the past. And here's the deal: I don't believe in forgiving or forgetting. I think forgiveness is often the language of abusers. Yeah, we can forgive people, but the people who usually demand forgiveness don't deserve it. And the people who screw up and deserve forgiveness don't demand it. So you don't need to forgive someone to move on. You just need to let it go. And not let it go as in like it didn't hurt you or it's not a big deal or it wasn't a horrible thing that happened to you. Let it go in the sense of like, that happened to me, but I am going to move forward because the best revenge or the best thing that you can do when people have intentionally harmed you or when people have really destroyed your life is to leave those losers in the dust and live your best life. Not avoiding, not obfuscating, not pretending nothing happened, but being like, I deserve better than this and I'm going to get better than this. Also, forgive yourself for the things that you accepted when you didn't know better. Forgive yourself for the things that you accepted when you hadn't processed your trauma. That's not your fault. We have polarity. Oop, here we go. Integrate your shadow side. There can be no light without dark. Understand the law of polarity. Yeah, and that ties into this compassion card, which I find interesting. We also have a lot of purple. In this polarity, like, you don't need to get rid of parts of yourself that other people don't like. You don't need to get rid of parts of yourself that are dark and sad, but you do need to integrate them and understand them and be compassionate towards them. It's about letting go this idea of right and wrong and this idea of perfection. Also, in a world that is broken, you will never be healed. In a society and in systems that are built on deceit and lies and violence, you will never be whole, but you can be a light and you can be a divine being. And so releasing this need to be perfect is really strongly coming through. Releasing a need to be whole or complete before you do something new, that's never going to happen. And I'm not saying that to be doom and gloom. It just, all of us have parts of ourselves that are damaged, and that's fine. In fact, that's how we're surviving currently. And then we have delight, which I love, still on the purple spectrum. Count your blessings, enjoy life, take pleasure in the simple things, always expect the best. Yeah, this is about a perspective shift. This is about releasing the past. This is about moving into new energy. This is about joy and happiness. And no, you don't have to be fake and you don't have to like force things. But I do think you have to believe in the possibility of better things, and you have to believe that you deserve better and you deserve more and you deserve to receive things from the universe with the Six of Pentacles. You don't have to work for everything. You know, I think it comes a lot from capitalism and nuclear family and all these things that we live in modern society. And this doesn't apply to everyone because not everyone has a nuclear family, but even people who don't, if you live or are at all influenced by the Western world, there is a pressure to participate. You don't have to pay everyone back. You don't have to apologize for breathing. You don't owe your parents for your existence. They decided to have you. Like, they chose to have you. You don't have to pay them back for feeding you. It just feels very strongly in this pile that you have been burned and mistreated for accepting help or for having needed support or for any nurture you've been given. And now is the time to be like, no, I deserve to be nurtured regardless of how I'm feeling or how I'm behaving or who I am. I don't have to always constantly pay people back for community. Like, community is reciprocal, but it's not, I don't want to say community is reciprocal, but it's like, it's not like constantly a financial exchange. Like, if your friend buys you lunch because they want to, let them buy you lunch. If you want to, you can buy it next time, but if not, just accept the gift. You know, I think the universe wants to give you gifts, but I think you are afraid that if you accept a gift, then you will be penalized and they will demand more from you in return. And that's just toxic humans, right? The universe doesn't work that way. And also, the universe has massive gifts in itself that don't require reciprocation. Now, should we strive for alignment and for connection? Absolutely. But you don't need to like pay the universe back because the universe is just giving. It is pure energy, right? And energy can neither be created nor destroyed. So you don't need like gratitude and thankfulness and joy and happiness for what you've been given, absolutely. But that's just feeding into the energy of this. It's not something demanded of you. Ooh, I love this. We have freedom. Yeah, freedom from the past, freedom from other people's expectations and demands, freedom from harm, freedom from guilt and shame. We also have fulfillment. I always love a good peach, by the way, also partially because they look like butts. Yes, I have the humor of a middle school child sometimes, much of the time. You know, we have fulfillment and freedom. This next door is opening up this for you while simultaneously requiring it from you before you enter. So you kind of have to give what you desire to the universe. You can't just ask for it and be like, but I'm also going to be sad and upset about stuff. And I'm also never going to give up on the things that I've been hurt by. And I'm, once again, to be clear, I'm not saying that you need to be like, oh, nothing happened to me bad and I'm going to forgive everyone. No. You can just say bad stuff happened and I'm still upset about it and I will be processing this in therapy, but I refuse to use that as a guide for my future. I can have more, I can be more, I can enjoy more. We have release. Once again, letting go. I am going to keep fulfillment on top because I just love the peach so much. But freedom, release, the door that you're moving through is going to be a huge release from the past. And I think there might be a fear in you that if you release the past, it will somehow harm you if you do not control the things that have happened to you before, if you don't have your hands on the stuff and the ways in which you've been harmed, somehow you will be harmed again. Nope, what you let go of and what you release yourself from cannot harm you. I have a lot of people who don't know me who often take my authenticity and vulnerability as weakness. And it's like, baby, sweet pea, sugar lump. You can't hurt me with something that I have released. You can't hurt me with a part of myself that I have healed. Like, I'm using it as an example for something we're talking about, or just because I am genuine and very open and also very autistic. Um, but like, people often see it as weakness. They because it's not the way I like to function is not toxic. They see it as not exciting or interesting, and it's like, and I can always tell the right people because they're always like, wow, I really love the energy that you bring and I really enjoy talking to you. But then there's people who are like, you're kind of silly and foolish and I'm going to be able to manipulate you. And it's like, babes, you think that information is power in the sense of being able to dominate someone. But information, when you are filled with love and with hope and with empathy, is a way to interact and engage and adore other people. And the fact that you see it as a way to exploit someone tells me everything that I need to know about you. And in your case, you do need to release this fear that your past can harm you. Now, your past does hurt you. I'm not denying that, but your past cannot destroy the present you. And people knowing your past, if they don't like it, screw them. You deserve to be everything you are in your fullness with this polarity. You are both dark and light. You are your good experiences. You are your bad experiences. You don't need to be perfection. You don't need to be fully healed. You don't need to be what everyone needs all the time. You deserve to receive, and you deserve to receive in all of your vulnerability and your magic and the softer sides of yourself. And I think if you can free yourself from feeling as though the past has power, as feeling as though other people can use and manipulate you, I think you're going to be a lot happier. And this is what this door is bringing to you. All right, so we're going to check into the door, which is why I have a key here, because we're going to be unlocking a door. First, we're going to ask, are there any blocks to this door? Then we're going to ask if there's a key to the door. Then we're going to ask what the door is on the other side of the door. And then we're going to ask what the ultimate end of this experience through the door is going to be. Not quite ready yet. I will say I do, for a 5'8" person, I have very small hands, and these bigger decks can be difficult. Ooh, so we have 2 sevens. 7 of wands, 7 of cups. Let's get a third one, just in case we get an angel number. Yeah, we got the world. That's fine. I do think we have a few final things to process, a few final things to do, especially with the cups. It feels like you also might be kind of getting clear on what you want. There's also a finalizing of some kind of journey with the world here. It definitely feels like, in order, the last thing that's going to happen before this door is you finishing out a cycle, is you moving through a final obstacle and processing some emotional stuff with the 7 of cups. 7 of cups can be choices, and I do think you are also making a choice as to whether you will go through this door or not. I do think pile number 3, you have a choice. I personally think you will take it in the long term, but you will have to sit with this release, with being compassionate to yourself, with healing, to decide if this is something you want to do. And that's kind of the final thing to do before this. And it's a part of the world, which is a finalizing and a culmination and a crossroads of destiny and fate and energetic forces. So before this door opens, it feels like there's going to be a pretty monumental moment of emotional cohesion. It feels like things are going to come together. And while with the Seven of Wands, there is struggle involved, it is like the struggle of birth or the struggle of someone trying to lift a weight. You are putting in that effort in order to gain something in return, in order to birth something, in order to build something. And so don't view it as, it's not necessarily a block, it is a process for you. I also find it interesting that we have two sevens right after the Six of Pentacles. But you will have an emotional breakthrough before you enter this door, and that is the sign that the door is ready. What is the key to this door, or is there a key to this door that you can do? Three of Wands. Is that freedom? Is that letting go? Five of Pentacles, yep. LOL. And the Ace of Cups. Yeah. You know what the key is? Releasing disappointment, releasing a fear that things will not work out, releasing whatever you've been holding on to, accepting and embracing newness. We also have Wheel of Fortune at the bottom, which I think is really calling to me. Accepting that luck exists, accepting that the universe is on your side, accepting that this moment is meant for you, knowing that whatever you have lost and left behind was left behind for a reason with the Wheel of Fortune. You don't need to hold on to this loss anymore. I also just realized that one of the people here is on crutches, which I find interesting. I do, as a disabled person, maybe argue let's not put someone who's experiencing a disability in the card of struggle. My personal opinion is while disability is hard, it is made extensively hard by society, and I don't mind being disabled. I mind living in a society that is disabling and that refuses to create a world that is better for me. But moving away from that, you the key is forward motion. The key is moving forward. The key is heading into the future, trusting what the universe is bringing in, and embracing this Ace of Cups. And what's interesting is the Ace of Cups has come into every reading. Something new, emotionally fulfilling. I think for some of you, even a relationship is coming in, whether you're more platonically focused or romantically focused. There is a relationship coming in, and I think a part of this door for you is stepping into a new relationship or stepping into an openness to be in a new form of relationship where we're not allowing the toxicity of the past, where we're only accepting fulfillment and freedom. We're not accepting people who want to take and harm and exploit. If it's not delightful, we're not doing it, and that is the key to this door. Is this belief in our deservedness, this trust in the universe, this faith that things are going to work out and that the past does not have to repeat itself. All right, what is on the other side of this door? Oh, also a reminder, we are going to do a yes or no pendulum question at the end. Also, might as well take the time to remind you to please like and subscribe. It really helps this channel to grow and to reach more people and boost my business, which I'm so thankful for. All of you who do all those things. It brings me so much joy. Also, comment. Let me know if this reading resonates, how you feel about it. But yeah, we're going to do yes or no question at the end, but let's get done with this question, which is, what's on the other side of that door, baby? King of Wands, power, confidence, acceptance. Ooh, interesting. Eight of Swords, Five of Wands. Nice. Makes me laugh. You will not. So, a part of this is the acceptance and the joy and the moving through disappointment and stuff. But you're going to get on the other side of the door and stuff is going to start working. And you might have an adverse response. You're like, Abigail, how can I have an adverse response to things going well? Because you are used to things not going well. And so there's an element here of you having to sit with your feelings on the other side of this door and be like, I deserve to experience safety, and also learning what safety is, because it feels like you've been in so much turmoil for so long. Also, with this Five of Wands, defending yourself, telling people to fuck off, telling people to screw themselves and to stop like messing around. Also, with this, I like this Eight of Swords because this figure is tied by their own hair. Like, you will be asked to release even more as you step into this next phase. And I do think once you step on the other side of this door, because you're experiencing so much at the opening of it, at the threshold, there will be a bit of downtime for you to integrate and for you to stabilize yourself in this King of Wands. So if you get through the door and you're like, Abigail, why does it feel like things fell apart? It's because you're having to process and to sit with the fact that something did go well. And now you're like, what do I do with positivity? And also, I do think you're recouping. Things are going to slow down a bit with this Four of Swords because you do need to regain your strength. You do need to reconnect with yourself and your body because you have been through so much in the past. Now, what we're going to ask finally is we're going to see, just checking our time, we're going to see what abundance, joy, hope, and fulfillment does this door bring to us in the long term. Ooh, Queen of Cups. That was also, I think, pile number 2 got Queen of Cups. 3 of Cups. Love that. Ooh, King of Pentacles. Thought it was a queen for a second. And the 8 of Wands. Nice, nice. It's really beautiful. You experience emotional stability and connection. Actually, is this a Queen of Cups? No. It's not the Queen of Cups. It's the 9 of Cups. Ooh, yeah. For a second, I was like, okay, no, it's the 9 of Cups. She does look like a queen, though, by the way, in my defense. Let me count it, make sure. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep, absolutely. And I find it interesting because this card is a bit non-traditional. There is a spilled cup, there is a hidden cup, so it's like the 4 of Cups, the 5 of Cups, the kind of traditional stacking. We have a 7. Is it 7? No, it's not. It's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have a 6 of Cups up here, and we have an Ace of Cups in a sense. And so it is dreams come true and it is fulfillment, but it's not just like pure bliss, not because pure bliss doesn't exist, but because you have become aware and you are someone who is very thoughtful. And so you take everything into consideration. And you're also letting things go while knowing that you can't know everything, while embracing newness and also enjoying what you've already attained. We also have a 3 of Cups, so friends, celebration, connection, community. I love how they're all like masked and have these like cosmic faces. It's like people you are meant to meet and celebrate and share life with are going to show up. We also have this King of Pentacles. You know, you are experiencing stability and connection. I also think we're looking at material abundance, and not just material abundance, but an ability to use and utilize it functionally and practically. So it's not you just getting good things and then not knowing what to do with it, or making poor choices, or just making difficult choices and choices that don't work out because you're not sure what to do now that you have good things. You also are becoming very fluent and very gifted in managing the good things that you have: finances, money, material possessions. Then we have the 8 of Wands. This door ultimately is speeding up your progression, is moving things forward, which is funny because we're going to have this delay at the very kind of beginning once you get through the door, but then things are going to move very quickly and going to be sped up quite a lot. And so just know that anytime that you lose in this phase of rest, you will make up, and you are going to be experiencing your dreams, but they're not going to be the dreams that someone who hasn't been through as much is going to be. It's going to be you being able to see the full picture and be like, wow, look at how much I have and how much I have gained in the context of a difficult life and a difficult moment. Which I think a lot of us can resonate with, because at least me and most of the neurodivergents or folks who've had a rough time that I know, we're never like, and everything's always been great. We're like, no, it's been really hard and it's been difficult to get here, but we can still celebrate and enjoy, and you're going to have people to enjoy it with. I didn't do this with the rest of the piles, but I want to ask for one more. Oh, we'll take these 2. Ask for 2 more cards. So I was going to do 1, but these 2 came out. We have this 10 of Cups and the Knight of Pentacles. You know, at the end of the day, regardless of the fluctuations of energy, consistency and a belief in your future is going to do so much for you. An ability to live in joy before joy has fully arrived is going to bring this forward into your life in a much faster, more present way. but it's not by doing fast things. It's about consistent progress and pursuance of your goals and desires. And I do think stepping through this door is really going to balance out the energy over time so that you are consistently getting good things rather than these really extreme highs and lows and like peaks and valleys and stuff that you may have experienced in the past. But yeah, this door is changing everything for you. It's changing your perspective, it's changing your ideas and your belief around yourself. It is bringing in new and better people. It is teaching you lessons about the ways in which you have been holding on to things and helping you let it go. This door is very magical and it is going to bring you a lot while also teaching you a lot, which I think is very wonderful. And I think also ending with this 10 of cups, it's about finding joy and enjoying it when we have it, and not just focusing on what we don't have, but focusing on what we do have and what we do deserve as a guide for the universe, rather than being like, never, nothing's ever going to happen, I'm always going to get hurt. Being like, you know what, I was hurt in the past, it wasn't fun, I didn't deserve it, but I deserve more now and I will get more now, and the universe is going to be a part of this journey. Anyways, my loves, that's my reading, but we do have your pendulum. So I'm going to explain this more fully because I explained it really fully in the first pile, half-assed it in the second pile. So I've already attuned my pendulum in pile number 1, so I don't need to do it again. But a yes is the pendulum swinging this way, a no is the pendulum swinging this way. If you want to see how I attune my pendulum, you can check out pile number 1 at the end. But how I attune it is I just ask questions we already know the answer to, and if it answers yes or no, then I know that the pendulum is aligned. So, for instance, I asked if we were doing a tarot reading. It was a big yes, and I said, "Is my name Fred?" And they were like, "What?" No. So we will get the pendulum here. We're going to get a yes or no question in your mind. Ooh, the pendulum is very still, waiting for your answer. So ask a yes or no question. Hello, pendulum. Starting to swing already. Little circle, waiting for the question. What is the answer to the yes or no question pile number 3 is asking? Yes or no? Taking a minute. It is a yes, but with the kind of wide circles as it goes out, they are saying it is a yes, but maybe think through your question a little bit more and make it more specific. Be more intentional with it. And also, I think the pendulum wants to tell you, which is something that I think came through with this reading, that you deserve to have what you want. So be clear about what you want. Whatever you were asking is a yes, but really believe in that yes and really believe in your deservedness of that yes. Anyways, my loves, this is my reading for you. I wish you a very blessed day, night, evening, morning, whenever you're seeing this, and I will see you all later. Bye.